broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Oh,
there it is. Always love this song.
Hey,
everybody. Welcome to AfterBuzzTV.com.
Welcome.
I'm your host, Steve Kaufmann, and we are here for the Louie After Show. It's Season 5, Episode 5, entitled Untitled. If you're watching me live on YouTube, please feel free to drop by the chat. I'll see your questions, your comments, your concerns about tonight's episode. Some people have concerns. If you're listening to my voice on iTunes or on SoundCloud, like us, rate us, subscribe us, share us. And if at any point you're hearing my voice and you want to say something to me, you can talk to me at Steve Kaufmann, Kaufmann. Be sure to use the hashtag ABTV Louie, but I'm not alone here. To my left, I'm joined by both Monis and Jared. Where
Steve,
can they tweet at you?
I just want to say, first of all, Steve, Jared, it's a pleasure to see you guys.
Oh, wow.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
we're
Yeah,
doing this.
to an amazing beginning to the
that.
show.
I love it. Let's all drink at the same time so no one's talking.
Oh,
This
yeah.
Everyone else had vodka, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
I
cool.
do. Yeah, I think it's gin this time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
You've done the classier
But-
route.
oh,
Where,
yes.
where can they find you?
Anyway,
on the Twitter?
yes, everyone, you can find me on the Twitter it's at Rest Fiction, which stands for restaurantfiction.com. Check out that website, and also on iTunes, Restaurant Fiction.
It's a great website. I enjoy it. You can find me at Gilkerson Radio on Twitter. Complain, compliment. I'm open to everything.
He is the ultimate sports guy too. Just
Oh,
FYI,
thank you.
absolutely.
Thanks for the plug.
You
I've
got
seen
it.
him take so many complaints on Twitter.
Yes, it's lovely.
I don't take any complaints.
I got one tonight.
Already?
Yeah, but you
Well, not
handle
about this show. though.
Okay. This episode's called Untitled.
Yes.
Is that for a reason?
Yes.
And what's the reason?
There is no reason. And that's surrealism. And this is my film degree coming into use.
Finally,
Steven was-
finally, you get to use your film degree.
He was giddy in the viewing room. Just
A little bit.
I was like, oh, here it's gonna be just. This is gonna be.
By the
nuts.
way, this was actually very special for me because you were not just giddy, Steve, but you were laughing your butt off. I've never seen you laugh so hard for an episode of Louie this season.
I was just semi-obsessed with the guy with the olives for eyes or whatever that was.
I think he just had pinhole eyes.
It was
He
great.
just had pupils, I think. But to
Yeah,
start at
just
the
a
top.
teaser.
To start at the top, we have Louie doing a really funny bit about bees, where he wants to. We've heard the bit so many times. I still can't
beekeeper.
read. He wants to be a beekeeper, but he actually doesn't like all the bees. And so he just kept one bee, and that bee's really lonely. And that's the bit. And the gentleman, he ran into a gentleman outside who really, really liked the bit. And he was like, tell him, retell that bit. And then had somebody retell that bit. And has anyone ever had that where you have a joke in the moment and then someone tries to retell your joke outside that moment?
Awkward.
It's awkward because they don't have your voice. The audience is not there. The timing, it's time and place, I feel, with any joke. I mean, especially in the stand-up world, it's time and place.
Awkwardly, we're kind of doing that right now.
A little bit. But we're trying to explain it and then...
I know.
And so far, this pretty standard episode of Louie. And then he sees his daughter, Jane, his daughter, and takes her to the doctor from last season.
Charles Grodin.
Yes, Charles Grodin, the doctor from last season, who...
He's gotten old, guys.
But
I mean, I remember him from his Beethoven days.
but he's still very wise.
He's
of course.
He's hysterical too. Grodin's great in this show.
And-
He's just great.
And pretty much Louie takes a lollipop. Sits down with Jane. He says hi to someone in the waiting room. And then that one woman just doesn't say anything, and Jane is like, she's really impolite. That person's rude. Daddy, that person's rude. He's like, don't say that, but you are. To the lady.
Yeah.
they go in, they talk to the doctor, and this is where we get the first inkling that something might be up with everything we're about to see, because he goes into the doctor. The doctor never examines his daughter, and she talks about some pretty deep existential. all I see are electrons and neutrons.
My face is sweating from the inside.
And they're spinning, and they're this and they're that, and the doctor never touches her, never examines her. Goes, okay, well,
Drink some water.
that's you seem dehydrated. You should probably get hydrated. And then they pick up Lily at a sleepover, and then they go to the grocery store. And in the grocery store, Lily explains she's watching this movie about a guy who's wearing all white, including a white bowler, and they're running around London, like killing people until they got arrested. And then they were arrested, and he was like, "Wait, did that woman let you watch Clockwork Orange?"
It's great.
Oh man!
Did you ever have that moment when you're a kid and describing a movie to your parents, or like something that you weren't allowed to see, and then you got not caught, but it was like, hey, like she's like 13 in the show, so it's like, who cares?
That's a rough movie.
I know it's.
Yeah, that's a.
I know
that's
there's
a pretty extreme
of
example. Still so far, whatever.
Yeah. You know what really, first of all, baffled me is, first of all, with Louis, he takes the lollipop before he actually goes to the doctor, and he doesn't even give it to his daughter. I mean, first of all, I thought you're supposed to get the lollipop, the sucker, after the doctor.
Well, no, the dad can take it whenever he wants.
Yeah,
I didn't know that rule.
The daughter is supposed to. Although, but that's another like tiny little trope that, like, when you think back to the episode as a whole, they're like, you know what, like they usually give you a lollipop when you're done. Why do they even have a bowl of lollipops for anyone to take? Like, that's not actually how a doctor's office may or may not do the lollipop distribution.
That's how Grodin does it.
That might be how Grodin does it. And before Lily,
the Grodin way.
Yeah.
And before that, Louis picks up Lily from that sleepover, and the mom whose husband just died asked him to move.
Oh, he was dead. I didn't get that.
Why would she? Did he leave? I assumed he was dead.
She just said before he left.
Yes.
Really?
So I was thinking divorce.
I was thinking divorce
but she
too.
seemed wrecked enough. She seemed so wrecked. I assume.
Well, she was completely helpless altogether, so she would probably cry over everything.
Not to mention, I want to watch this episode a second time.
Yeah.
Because I think there's a lot of stuff to be caught.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure she didn't say dead or left. Like, I think he stopped being here. Like, I'm sure it was some weird line.
Yeah.
Like, weirdly specific line that you'd catch on a second viewing of, like, what is real? What is, like, because she looked devastated by whatever had happened. Clearly in no shape to host a sleepover. And she asked Louis to move a fish tank, to which he goes, you gotta, like, drain it. And, like,
professionals.
Yeah, you should probably hire some professionals.
Yeah, first of all, who asked someone to move a fish tank, though? A bit, and that was a pretty large fish tank. That's not like a goldfish you win at a fair.
I love how Monis just looks at it as like, I'm not watching a comedy anymore. I'm just pissed off that, like, this woman's asking him to move a fish
cannot
tank.
suspend my disbelief.
Yeah.
I cannot.
I
want to ground the episode, gentlemen. I want to ground it in real time, real
Good
life.
luck with this episode. And once again, she starts bawling. She sits down. He grabs a blanket. He puts the blanket over her and eventually covers her in the blanket, which any other week on this show would be, that's just a funny gag. Whereas this week, we're like, that could have multiple meanings of what is he covering her for.
Really quick, have you ever had? I've had that happen to me. Like, I mean, yes. Have
Someone
you ever
asked
had
you to move a fish tank?
Well, almost, but.
I thought you meant the blanket thing.
No, have you ever had just a woman you don't know that well just uncontrollably cry?
Well, yeah, that happens.
Oh, every night I'm with him. Yeah, all of them.
That's usually hosts here.
Yeah.
I mean, well, what do you do? How do you do it? Because I mean, the blanket trick that was pretty
like
funny.
A bird. You know how like birds are so stupid where you can just put a blanket over their cage and they just think it's nighttime. I think he was just thinking like just. If she can't see anything, then he can just leave the room. So I'll just put this blanket over you and I can leave now. So I thought it was a brilliant way to get out of it.
But that's like kind of surreal in the sense.
Yeah, like so you're thinking
that's
the start of the dream?
I think if you watch this episode again, all of it feels like this weird, like surrealist
Yeah.
Nothing's what it seems. Everything's meaningless.
Sure.
That
But
bird
it was
thing.
a slight at the beginning.
Yeah, but it's very slight at the beginning, and then you just jump in. But I think it's all there. I really wish I was able to watch it a second time before this.
You were not taking notes.
I was not
That's the
taking
best
notes.
way, though. If
Yes.
you would have looked down, you would have been angry.
Yeah.
To take
A little bit,
notes.
because I would have missed things.
Yeah.
But they're Lily, Jane, Louis, all in a taxi cab. Louis falls asleep. They laugh. And then we jump ahead, and because I didn't take notes, you'll have to correct me of exactly what we jump ahead to. But we jump ahead to something, and then he wakes up.
He jumped ahead when they were playing like chess in the kitchen. His
Yeah,
daughters.
okay.
Yeah, and then
They-
he opens the door and you see the
There's
first vision of this creep.
Which reminded me.
Yes. Well, because he opens the door, and
And
it's
then
just
this-
complete darkness.
Yeah,
It was like this half-naked, chiseled man with the.
You kind of resemble a little bit with the bald.
I try. Yeah,
Yeah.
I try. Thank you. I thought that life-size mannequin reminded me of Mango, Chris Kattan
my God,
from
Mango.
Saturday Night Live. No one touches the Mango. Kind of that. Yeah.
I never thought we'd get a spot-on Mango impression on the show. But we got
can't-
it today.
Oh,
It was pretty
Can't mess with the
fantastic.
mango.
that was pretty good, man.
But I'm the best way to describe this gentleman would be chiseled body, Speedo.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Speedo,
kidding.
just pupils. No eyes, no eye socket, just pupils.
He likes to nibble on the ear.
Likes to nibble on the ear a lot.
Mango-ish.
Mango-ish.
And then he jumps through a complete darkness into the light and tackles Louis. And then he wakes up again.
I wonder if that was I would love to know. I mean, it's probably not a comedian. I just need to know who that was.
IMDb will
playing
have
that.
it.
Will they have any kind of you think everyone will just be untitled in this whole episode? Like everyone's just gonna be no name at all in the credits.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Louis this IMDb only has 2 credits for this episode.
I know I saw it earlier and I was like, okay,
So then tomorrow, IMDb will have it.
yeah. Next
Yes.
week we'll disclose the
The name of the gentleman.
olive-eyed man. That's
Boom.
what we
The
call him,
olive-eyed
Olive.
man. I'm not going to have the order right, but then
That's
he
all right.
wakes up again, and they set up this pattern. And the pattern will be... at first it's like, I woke up again. And then they flash forward to something else.
I think it was the comedy club. And
Yeah,
then
and they
him
flash
stealing
forward.
his
Yeah,
stuff.
they flash forward to something else where the gentleman who thought his B joke was so funny was
Crazy
just up on-
Glazy.
Crazy Glazy was just up on stage stealing the B joke.
Yeah.
Like straight up stealing the B joke.
How would you feel if someone stole your joke like that? Well, and how would you? Yeah.
That would
pissed
be
off.
my whole bit. If I had to go up on stage right after that guy, my whole bit would be like, so Crazy Glazy likes to steal everything. Funny thing, I have way better material than the B joke, but the B joke was what he has, and that's what I'm stealing.
Yeah.
Or that's what he stole from me.
Yeah.
How often do you think that really happens? Or
Plenty.
No, probably not that directly.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
in this episode, it's so infrequent, but what I love about everything that's there is there's so much to dissect and get into, but ultimately he chose it at random.
Yeah.
Ultimately it means nothing, which is just like life. You feel like everything means something when it really means nothing.
It's true. It's
And
deep.
It's really deep, and it's very Boomwell, and
See, now you're going over my head.
Boomwell is the name of a director who did very surrealist things just
Okay.
like this. Actually, way more surrealist things. If you've gone through film school, I think I've been shown Boomwell and Salvador Dali did a picture it was a short film called The Andalusian Dog. And I think I've seen it 6 times throughout my time in film school. And at one point we dissected it frame by frame. And this is what it could mean, this is what it can't mean, this is the overall crazy story they're telling with symbols and dream logic and all these things, and ultimately it means nothing though.
I did that same thing with Office Space.
Wow.
No, I didn't.
Office Space might be that
Oh,
deep.
I was gonna cheers you there, man. I thought we had. Yeah, I totally did that with
We'll
Office Space.
we'll
frame by
save it
frame.
for
Just
the
a frame
end.
by frame breakdown of Office Space.
Especially with the stapler and the fax machine or the copy or whatever that was. That was beautiful.
I couldn't imagine breaking it. I could break this episode would be fun frame by frame.
Yeah, that's
would
what
be
I
kinda
like
fun
about
to do.
it. Because even Crazy Glazy
Yeah.
stealing a joke from Louis C.K.
That's a name.
Is
Crazy Glazy.
Crazy Glazy, but there's actually a layer of that in Louis C.K.'s history where Dane Cook allegedly may have
But he already addressed that earlier in the series.
But that wasn't the point. He doesn't want to readdress it. He just wants to do something else that leaves a remnant of his past and of the connection I'd make, which wouldn't be the connection you'd make. And it's real deep and like art. Like, it's art, guys.
Yeah, my connection there would just be so many hack comedians. I mean, yes, it's helping the dreamlike state at this point.
Because we're not in this rabbit hole yet either.
No, we're almost there. But yeah, it's just a hack comedian kind of. That's the annoying part of the dream. Like, steals his coat, steals his jokes, just like. But you know that guy exists in his life for the last 30 years. Like, just that guy has been there.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
He may or may not actually exist.
Yeah, not specifically.
Although, in this show particularly, like Louie as a show on FX that's been on for 5 years. He ebbs and flows with canon at all. Like, sometimes his kids have a mom. Sometimes we see her. Sometimes we don't.
Yeah. I actually thought when they had the lady at the beginning who was babysitting, I actually thought that was just all of a sudden going to be his ex-wife. Like, I didn't know where he was going. I'm like, and it's so weird how that's normal now.
Yep.
I can look at that scene and go, is that his ex-wife now in this episode? I just thought maybe he was switching it up.
Yeah,
and that would have been fine. That would have been cool. But
I mean, lately they have kept his ex-wife as one character.
Yeah. So where we jump into?
What's next? Where do you guys
want
to jump?
So the dream gets darker, and then I feel now we get into the deeper into that rabbit hole, and we see him trying to like go to the doctor, or he's talking to his other comedian friends.
Jim. Oh well, I love the cameo by Jim Norton.
Yes. So we see where he's waiting, and he takes his arm out for this elderly woman to eat.
Yeah.
Yes.
As if it was a donut, and then he looks down, and his lower half is a mannequin, and his
his genitals are kind of like a mashed up muffin.
I would say a cronut.
Actually, I think cronut made the most sense to me.
Cronut. Yeah,
and then,
kind of mashed a little bit.
Yeah,
and then off in the distance, the MC from this entire run calls him to the stage, and then he comes onto the stage with a cronut.
He walks through,
probably,
and there's mannequins though. Yeah, there's all these mannequins. We even see, I think, the Mango-esque olive-eyed dude.
Yeah, that guy's around.
He is around with mannequins. And
I love how he doesn't really have a bit. He doesn't really have material. It's just like blah blah meow, meow.
He
can't. Yes.
Right. He really can't talk.
But it was an exercise of his subconscious, because to him that's what his bit is, where it's like self, blah blah blah. Yeah. Jokey joke. I do the thing.
Were you guys taken out of it? Like, not taken out of it, like pulled in. Because
I was there.
He represented dreams. That's what I meant. I mean, wow, he's actually making dreams close to kind of how they are.
Yeah.
Like,
well, that's
his is on stage representing what he does.
That's what the surreal. Yeah. That's what surrealism's all about. Yeah. Is subliminal.
Sorry, this is my 101 class. Right
you
now.
Are getting schooled in film, Jared. 101.
Yeah.
You are not in the Tisch school. You are in the AFTERBUZZ.
I don't want to get too far off topic, but what would be your dreams that you've had that are similar to when he's on stage with his pants down?
Steve's night terrors.
What's the similar that you would have? Like
honestly, for me, would be any role I've ever been like rehearsing for.
Yeah. My
dream would be, it's like opening night, or it's like a fairly common one, but it's like opening night, or we're on set and we're ready to do it, and I have not rehearsed.
Yeah, it's like the old not studying dreams.
Yeah, like the same idea, like I'm not prepared. But like dreams are so fluid that you're there, but the second you realize that that's what you're doing, you kind of change, you kind of pivot and then change, and now I'm a robot, and now I'm coming out and saying blobbity blobbity blue, and they're applauding me because I did do the work, and it was inside me all along.
I gotta know what's on this guy's brain for those dreams.
You do not want to go down there, my friend.
Okay.
Oh, I know, but it's awesome.
Mine were always like quick. I always had it was always a sporting event, and I couldn't run. So every time I was playing something, I could not keep up. I was always falling or sinking, or my legs didn't work, and I just couldn't. I had to play something on the ground, literally sitting. It was a horrible.
I usually have the opposite dreams with running. Like, a lot of people say they can't run in dreams. I can't run. I don't run much in real life.
Yeah.
So in my dreams, I actually I've had many a dream where I'm running, but like at the speed of a car.
Oh, nice.
Where it's like, oh, I gotta get there.
Damn,
No.
I want something
And then just
like
run
that.
there.
I
And then at some point you
those.
jump and you just jump like 50 feet.
Yeah.
Dreams are cool
Wow.
if you...
Mine are too.
Especially Louie's dreams.
Thank you.
True.
Yeah,
Thank
and
you,
speaking
Mark.
of, going down rabbit holes in dreams, now we get into the sequence. Louis is trying to not have these nightmares. He keeps on going back to sleep. He keeps on having them. We get another comedian. We get his brother in a rabbit suit.
Yeah.
And then,
Bob
then he
Kelly.
bangs.
Yes.
Then he bangs his brother in a rabbit suit,
Yeah.
and then his brother in a rabbit suit bangs him. This was when I first realized, like, oh, okay, he's just going out of his way to do random stuff.
And then he's in this corridor, this red corridor going through. It's somewhat blurry, and then suddenly he wakes out of it, and he's with his buddy at this Italian bakery, eating a cannoli before he pays for it. Also known, I guess, filled with raccoon jizz.
Yeah.
That's a quote.
Well, that's obvious. We all know that.
That's
was new to me.
That's
My-
like science, bro.
Yeah, I mean, come on, you're the restaurateur or the
Yeah, you're right. True,
you
yeah.
should review
That's
that
right.
that pastry place. In
You
your
have
next
no
thing.
idea.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right.
So, but anyway, from that, he gets this awakening of, okay, when did these nightmares start? Or when did you start having them? And he goes back to the woman, the sitter of his daughters, and he comes with his vacuum, and he starts by cleaning and
Fixing
helping.
everything.
Well,
Yeah.
like he comes in and he moves the fish tank.
Yeah.
He also
then
gets
fixes-
something
then he-
out
then
of
he
it.
fixes, Then he fixes a toilet.
Yeah.
Then he does a faucet. Then he bangs
Then he
her.
does
Then he
her-
bangs her on the kitchen counter.
Yeah, well,
and
I
then
mean,
he does something else.
logically.
Then he does something else.
Yeah.
And then he does something else. And then he eventually, we see him go to sleep
With the great song.
with this great song that initially.
Smiling faces give me
Did you
diarrhea.
write- Yeah, that's a great
Well, because it was
song.
initially like the song initially fit right in, where it's like, oh, like this old timey, like kill all the monsters song,
Yeah.
but like told so sweetly that maybe it's a child's song or maybe something interesting. And then like the words keep changing every chorus to like kill all the smiling children, all the smiling children must diarrhea, smiling children with diarrhea, smiling children give me diarrhea. Like this stream of consciousness song, and that's how we end with him sleeping, and
Yeah.
we wonder if he's been sleeping the whole time.
Maybe.
This whole episode was diarrhea.
It's like Dallas is all. It's like Dallas all over again.
Do
Everyone's old
you
enough for that.
do you think he was sleeping the whole time? Let us know.
What do you think? This is kind of predictions. Is are we going
I
that route? Are we
mean,
going to go
That's
that
a
route?
that's
Well,
a
no, not
cop
with
out,
Elliot.
Let's
man.
do it.
That's a cop out. Like Roger Ebert, he loathed like movies that were just one gigantic dream.
Well,
that would be
from a
I actually don't-
from a storytelling standpoint, that is a huge cop out. But something like we saw here,
Yeah,
where
it's
it's
a
like,
standalone thing.
was it a dream? What is a dream? What is reality? And that was the whole motif of the whole episode. Like,
I'm going to
what
say
is
no.
what is love?
all I'm gonna
What
say.
is
Oh, Hadaway.
huh?
Beat me to it. Totally beat me to it.
The song.
Yes,
Yeah, sorry.
we've puns. We've puns here, guys. But yeah,
Yeah. This is my favorite episode of this season.
Me
so
too.
you were
far.
laughing your ass off.
It just.
It was the
the
mango.
whole season's been solid and great, but this episode was excellent, just because it was completely off the wall. And I just was gonna rattle off real quick: Jim Norton, Todd Barry, Nick DiPaolo, Bob Kelly,
Yes.
always Charles Grodin. But yeah, I love how Nick DiPaolo was just like the straight guy the whole time, like
Yes.
the one guy who didn't do anything off the wall in the whole episode as comedians. And then Todd Barry was just the friend who is going to humiliate him and say he's stupid.
Yeah.
That's all he did, and it's great.
bite his hand at some point.
Yeah,
Or like, there's a whole lot going on.
great.
Oh, this episode. I kind of want to get us out of here a little sooner so we can watch this episode again.
Let's get out.
Let's
if you guys,
knock it out of the park.
If you guys want to send me many, many articles about the Andalusian dog or about surrealism and tell me I still don't understand surrealism because that's the point, you can tweet at me at Steve Kaufmann, KAUFMANN. If people have existential thoughts they want to share with either of you, where can they find you?
Anyway, guys, you can go to restaurantfiction.com and check out my review on The Peach Pit, which was the restaurant featured in Beverly Hills 90210.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely. Follow me on Twitter at RestFiction. Listen to me on iTunes, Restaurant Fiction.
That's at Gilkerson Radio on Twitter. Also, podcast at The Gizmo Show. I think that's what our thing is now. Just look up The Gizmo Show and find the cat with a bunch of sports equipment.
You'll find the guy. Guys. And I said that earlier, where you can find me. I do a lot of shows here at AfterBuzz TV. I tweet about them regularly.
Cheers,
we'll see
my
you guys
friend.
next week.
All right,
Cheers.
let's do it.
Cheers.
Yeah, this is awesome,
I drank
guys.
all my vodka.
Hell yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Mark.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
See you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.